You got a M&Ms and shit.
So these ones aren't the ones, but I'm gonna talk about them. The M&Ms mix, because you get 3 different types of M&Ms in one bag. There's one that's a M&Ms, just like the normal M&Ms, the milk chocolate one. It has the M&M peanut butter one, and then the M&M peanuts, like the full ones, in the mixed bag. And it's a small bag. I fucked up that bag in like inside a day, like no question. They're so fucking tasty. And these ones are good too, but like I highly recommend them. A really good munchy food. Really, really, really good munchy food, especially if you're like a chocolate, like you have a sweet chocolate tooth. For me, I don't have a sweet tooth. It's just chocolate.
I feel you, bro, and that's dope because it's like I'm similar to you in the sense of I love snacks. I was just expressing like I had like a cookies and cream with a mini Oreo with like a mini little cluster of like chocolate and something like whatever mixed, and it was like in a similar bag. Sorry, but yeah, man, it was a dope ass snack. So I'm thinking to myself like, shit, I'm a snack connoisseur. I'm a snack king out here. I don't give a
shit. Hey, what the hell not, man?
I always want to learn about new snacks.
Between this and cookies for me, frankly, like I don't eat much chips anymore. Like I have a bag of chips, but I pick away at them. Like I don't eat them. Like you remember how I just used to demolish chips like they were nothing, but like now it's in there.
Oh yeah.
But now I'll go through like boxes of cookies like they're nothing though. So there you go.
I feel you, bro. I'm still, bro. Cookies be the shit. Like, and obviously there's so much variety, right? So that's right there is where I fail because even speaking on that, bro, like I'm gonna hit up Dennis Tuesday and shit. Well, if you're watching this tomorrow, but yeah, man, it's like because I gotta get my shit in check. Everything gotta be right because I'm out here with a terrible sweet, eating all types of candies and cookies and goodies and fucking chocolate milks and smoothies and shit. And you're just like, bro, you gotta chill. It's just in the sense of you be enjoying yourself. That's all. Just enjoying yourself. But
I'm just getting it in the gut more than anything. So like, there you go.
Yeah, I've been out here running and shit, bro. Like the fact that I just moved recently, I'm just running more because like I'm seeing the scenery too. So that's pretty dope. Just checking out what's going on, like different little restaurants and shit. Granted, the time comes when I catch a little honey and shit. I'm gonna bring it to all the dope spots I be finding, bro. So it's all good.
There you go. Preparing yourself.
Hey, it's lit because they're all out here too, bro. Whether they're walking their dog, whether they're just chilling, doing their thing, they're all out here, bro. It's just a matter of shooting your shot. I be talking to a 1-2 and shit that like I be working with and shit. You know how I go, but slowly but surely, bro. I hope I get it, bro. Because there's so many different opportunities, but it's like you still know the ones that you might want to fuck with, you know? Like that's the one or the one you might want to rock with, I should say. Pardon my French, but you know how it goes. It's just there's different, like just like the sweets and chocolates we like to choose and like how we might have specific flavors. Like I don't discriminate when it comes to women ever, but it's just a matter of sometimes there's a few that you be locked into and you're like, okay, I'm gonna try to get her. And then when you get her, it's all groovy. It's all groovy.
Mm-hmm.
We out here, bro. But yeah, man, I'm just fucking taking in the scenery and shit. My bad. Yeah. For the people who don't know, I'm on my balcony and it's like I'm on the 11th floor, so I'm just kind of tripping. Looking like, you know, but it's one of those things though, Trent. I'm laughing because it's like you can easily get distracted, especially when there's like hella baddies just tripping and shit. One shorty, she's just jogging right now, bro. She's just doing her thing. She's like, I'm flexing. I don't give a damn. She got like the arm. Man. She got like the arm fucking you know those fitness arm bands and shit with the fucking. She's just rocking out, killing it. But it's good because it's like certain people are out here trying to trip and better themselves. And the fact that on Friday, everything more or less opened up in the sense of people being able to go on patios and have drinks and things like that. So Saturday, Sunday, automatically everybody's rocking out. As you know, everybody's rocking out. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Everyone's because it's necessary and it's the time to. I was going to, oh shit, my bad. I was going to the supermarket yesterday, Trent, and the line was like, I have to just show you quickly how big a Toronto block is, roughly. You might not be able to see that good. You might not be able to see. But
I can see it. Yeah.
It's kind of large. And that's just one block from like, and that's not, but anyway, the line was like up that whole way just to get into the LCBO. And I thought to myself, okay, everyone needs to do what they're doing and enjoy themselves. But yo, I wonder if there's any types of delivery service from the LCBO, because if there was, I would definitely use it. I would never try to.
Gotta be more fucking LCBOs in your area.
Grocery stores, certain grocery stores, how they sell beer now, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Sure, go and use that service if they have it. Because standing in line for an hour and some change or whatever to get 2 bottles of wine, like, oh, I'm only going there for 2 bottles of wine, and that might cost you $40, let's just say. And then you're just standing out there for 2 hours of life. Nah, bro.
Honestly, around here, we only have one liquor store, and for a town of 21,000 people, we could easily support 2. Just because you go to the one and it's fucking mobbed. Like there's fucking nothing. Like last weekend, I went out to go get some Cottage Springs, and it looked like a bomb had went off. There was fucking nothing. Like there was nothing. Like there wasn't even like paper on the ground to say like, hey, there's fucking nothing. There was nothing.
Bro, I feel you. That's why, unfortunately, it's like you got to try to get in good with the person who knows when the restock's happening. So at least you can fuck around.
You just got to get it on a weird day, like an odd day, like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something like that. And people aren't like, you know, oh, I got to get stuff for the weekend, like now sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like if you save it to the weekend, you're fucked. Like anytime.
No, and that's the thing. That's almost with anything, whether it's laundry, fucking grocery shopping, because that's more or less when a lot of people are off, right? If they have a 9-to-5 job, you'll catch them Saturday morning. Or if you're blessed to hit it up, like if say the grocery store opens up 8:00, you there 8:05 and flexing, just grabbing everything you need quick as hell and get to the self checkout quick as hell. Bam, then you out by 8:45 ish, 8:30, and then you groovy. But opposed to that, you get there after 9, jam packed. Doesn't matter what section, what aisle. So it's like sweet spots on the actual day, busy day, or just flat out, like you said, during the week with almost anything.
Well, my brother, he
whatever.
I don't know if he's still doing it, but there was a period of time where he was getting up at like 7 a.m. and going grocery shopping at that point. Like going in, like when they're just opening up, like very, very, very early on. So when there's nobody there, and he'd go in, grab his groceries and get back in town before the rush even happened. So I thought that was pretty smart if you have that ability to go and do that. I also find just getting like blasted out of your skull helps too. That's just a personal thing there. Plus having those vape pens are really dangerous for that, because all of a sudden like you're just hitting it and then you're like aggressively high in the fucking produce section, just like
bro, and that's what's so dope about it, bro. I call it uncomfortably high, because it's not even just the herbs, it's the setting. There's mad random old ladies and people and shit. You're just like, bro. Not that I had like a panic attack in any way, but I could see how living in Toronto, people can have panic attacks and shit. Walking down Queen Street on a Saturday, now that things are open at like, let's just say anywhere between 11 a.m. and like 7, 8 p.m., bro, even later than that, bro, there's so many people, Trent, to the point where you're like, yo, anything can happen right now, and everybody here is in it, because like a car could fucking lose control and all 12 of us are hurt, because there's so many people that are like, and everyone's mask, not everyone, but a lot of people don't have their mask on because they're walking out in public. They have their mask, but just not on. Yeah. A lot of people do, though. A lot of people do have their mask on. But anyway, I'm saying that to say, bro, like, it's crazy how you can have like a panic attack or feel some type of weird way, like, especially if you're baked, super baked, just walking down certain streets at certain times of the day. Like I was jogging. Obviously, I was a little bit up there. I was a little bit floating, but I got to certain sections. I even like up at Yonge and Dundas, like obviously like Nathan Phillips Square and shit like that. Like that's obviously a super busy area in Toronto. Everyone knows that. But it's like I was jogging up there. I was gonna cut down either Bay, a street before Yonge, or like Jarvis or some shit, like a street after Yonge. Nah, bro. I ended up cutting up Yonge because I was like, you know what? It's actually quicker for me to get over to another street. I'm just explaining, like, it sounds weird because I know it's like, if you don't know these streets, you'll be like, what the fuck's he talking about? But I'm saying it in the sense of like how like there could be a small population of a city, Trent, just on one street.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there could be like we're roughly 7,000 people on one street. That doesn't make no sense. Drake is not performing. You know what I mean? Like that's not going down. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers is just walking up the streets, all 7,000 of us, bro.
It's a fucking massive city. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like, what the fuck? Why is there so many people on this one corner? Just 30 people waiting across the street. Everybody's just like, what the fuck? But at the same time, I'm glad to have this experience because I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's kind of experience. It's kind of preparing me for a later time because it's not about. I promise you, Trent. The next statement and listeners, the next statement I'm gonna say is not about being like, yo, he's vain, da da da. But I believe that we have big things that we can accomplish in this lifetime if we want to, Trent. I believe that in my fucking heart and soul. So if it's a matter of me just going out and achieving it, and I just like, yo, you just gotta go do it. You want to perform at this time and place, you gotta call the place and book it, blah blah blah, and fill up the seats and go do it or whatever, right? Granted, because I'm a musician, but at the same time, it's like people be tripping and shit like that, bro. Like they'll go above and beyond to not accomplish their dream because they're scared of somebody calling them vain or something. Nah, bro, I'm just confident. So I say all that to say, being in a city like this where it's super populated, or even in an area like this, like I chose it. Don't get me wrong. I chose to be downtown as a motherfucker, like right in the middle of it. But at the same time, it's like sometimes you're like, yo, there's so much people. But when I'm in my apartment, bro, I don't hear nothing, bro. Like I don't necessarily hear the street necessarily. You might hear sirens and shit because I'm right by a 411 station, just right by a police station. But it is what it is. But I'm just saying all this to say, bro, like it's dope because I believe that all this right now is preparing me and you. Everything you're going through and experiencing right now, everything is preparing you for your later self. And it's not about being like, well, duh. It's about no. We're making specific choices to do this shit.
I agree completely with everything you said there. Especially like if you want to do great things in this life, you can accomplish it. It's all about like what do you want to do and making small steps like every day trying to get there. Because although it is a journey of 1,000 miles, you walk it one step at a time. So that's all you can do, right?
Yeah, that's big facts. And it's like, although it's a situation trip where we have to just go, we can only move for ourselves. We can only be the ones to take one step at a time. We can only be the ones to accomplish one goal at a time. So it's like, it kind of doesn't matter what other people are thinking, but it does kind of make you think. It does kind of make you think like, if I need others to help me succeed, or if I need others to, let's just say you're putting out a product, if I need others to buy that product or to help me quote unquote succeed or get further in the monetary aspect of life, we're kind of dependent on other people. So it kind of sucks, but like we kind of have to turn into being a people person. So in a sense, because
Networking.
like, yeah. And it's like, it's not even just about like trying to get with one person because they're famous, or it's like building genuine connections and those connections leading to other things. Because granted, don't get me wrong, if you're in a place where of privilege or whatever, where it's like, okay, I'm a CEO of said company and X, Y, and Z. So I have the ability to hire and just alter people's lives drastically in a good way. I'm gonna do that. Like, but who are you though, right? Like, who, as a person with that power, like that's what it all kind of. Because if you're the person who has the ability to sway 1,000 people to buy a certain product or whatever the case is, bro, we got to be out here on some fucking Bruce Wayne shit, just out here snapping, bro.
Yeah.
Especially like I keep the running joke of being in Toronto, being like, yo, nigga, like, motherfucker, I live in Gotham City, but it's like, it's kind of true. Like, yo, there's so many different millionaires, different people like that who have just bread. And it ain't about watching pockets. It's about once I get to this point, if I ever spark that, or get that stroke of genius, or where I just spark something, Trent, where it's like, oh shit, and then in 6 months to a year, oh shit, motherfuckers are living in such a drastic, like a different lifestyle now. And it's not about money and riches and shit like that. I'm talking about just he's on a farm, he has his own land, or she has their own land, or whatever the case is. That's where I'm aiming for, bro. And it's slowly but surely developing different connections and putting different, like how we spoke about a little bit in the last episode, putting those ideas and that creativity, like putting that shit to work and not ever looking back, bro. You gotta believe
Exactly.
that shit first, bro.
I agree. I agree. Like you nailed it there. I don't know what else to say.
Well, it's one of those things. I mean, and to the people listening, I just hope that you understand. Like we can make, in my opinion, we can make whatever we have to work. But it's just you got to be devoted to actually putting in not just the work, but putting in the time for research, because it's not about just putting in or labor hours, not man hours. Excuse my French, but labor hours. It's not about just fucking working literally. It's like, how are you planning? How are you setting up the goal? How are you going to make this happen? Because if it's not a solid way, the plan will crumble. And there's more than one way to do things. So it's like, I really hope that just if you're listening, we can understand. Like, and it's not about me, my word being law. It's about taking the message, like, and see if it applies to your life. And if it does, yo. If not, let it slide, right?
Well, what you said about like having to like use other people, like it really goes back to what we were talking about for asking for help too, because once again, sometimes we get stuck in our ways like, oh, I can do this all on my own sort of thing. But there's sometimes where like you need to reach out and like, you know, especially in like cases of research, like that's something have to learn recently is like have to reach out to other people who have like better access to resources than I do for things I'm trying to get at that I can't physically or even with like the internet get at from here. But still, like it's just a matter of like hopefully, you know, finding those connections and you know, you help them, they help you sort of thing. It's just mutual aid, trying to everyone to lift each other up instead of just like, you know, think about it as like somebody trying to like exploit you sort of thing. It's more of like you try to help each other out as long as like they're on the same mindset, of course.
See, and that's the thing that's dope about it, Trent, because if you guys are on the same wavelength, your ability to help that person increases by at least 60%. And I don't say 100% because, again, the person still has to be willing to let you in and be, so the process can be fruitful, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's just something that it causes me to think about a lot. Is the process fruitful? What's the best way to approach it? All that. But yo, it's one of those ones where it's like a sun shower right now. Like a little bit of sun is coming through the clouds, but then it's I'm just gonna show you if you can. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully I don't drop my phone. I got the little mesh, but still. Can you see it at all or not?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Weird, because it's sunny here, like sunny and not hot, but warm here.
Can you hear the rain coming down or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's
That's
all good.
crazy though.
It's one of those things where I'm smiling to myself because I'm saying, damn, people are walking, enjoying themselves because it's sunny, but then it's raining on top of them.
Look out for the rainbow.
People brought out their umbrellas though, which is like obviously they were walking prepared to you know, in case the rain happened because I'm, you know, but it's nice though. It's different, Trent. I'm glad that, like, for example, like now that I have a place that I can invite friends more or less, that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like, as far as being able to enjoy time, like if one wants to enjoy a beverage, if one wants to enjoy the herbs of earth, you know what I mean? You can do that, you know, and that's the beauty of these times that we're now living in.
Yep.
And beyond that, it's like it's because it's not about just like going out or being in a certain city or whatever case. It's overall I'm saying that granted when you do come down, it's just about enjoying life, man. You know what I mean?
Yep. I hear you. Sorry. Fucking guy revving his motorcycle outside.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I've been unfortunately experiencing a little bit of that myself over here because I am on like I'm right by like a pretty busy street. Although even though I'm a little higher up, granted, if I'm on a phone call or a meeting like with you, obviously, then it turns into, oh shoot, like anything can happen, right? And it's not even that it's bad because it's like I want to be outside enjoying the fresh air, but at the same time, it's like you want to make sure you're not killing the vibe, you know, with the random ambient noises, right?
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
But no, man. Overall, again, it's always a great conversation, man. Like, and to the people listening, like, I'm glad that y'all rock with us, for real, for real.
For real.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just something that we do, but hopefully, it's something that can help y'all. You know what I mean? Not even about just helping, just in whether it's entertain y'all, whether you feel good. Hopefully, it gets you through a day. Hopefully, it gets you through a part of your shift if you're working, whatever your purpose is that you listen to it for. Hey, bro, well, me personally, I can only speak for me, but I enjoy doing it. I hope my boy.
I agree. I agree too. Like it really is, like you said when we were talking about it, it's really like therapeutic, like talking talking with family on the phone sort of thing. It's like that sort of
exactly how it feels. That's a brother of mine, people. Despite whether we agree, disagree, don't agree, love each other, hate each other, whatever, that's my brother. We've grown to that point of life where we've experienced enough. We've broken down enough. I've there's been hurtful moments, great moments, whatever.
This man carried my little dying body to a friggin' what was that, a walking clinic?
Bro, trying to nurse my man trying to help aid / nurse my man to a better health and shit. Life is life, bro. Life is life. You experience things with people for reasons. And I was having a conversation with one of the young ladies that I was talking to, like, and she was like just expressing her personal belief, and everyone can have their personal belief, but it's like some people just, they believe like, oh, people come in their life for reasons and let's find out what it is and blah blah blah. And some people don't always subscribe to that, and that's cool. Nothing's wrong with that. But then on the flip side, this person comes into your life. 3 weeks later, you have a seizure. They know how to help you and stop that seizure and all that. And they had some CBD or some wild shit like that. And next thing you know, your nurse kind of helped back, and then you never have a seizure again in your whole life. That shit would be wild, because it's like, if that person technically didn't know you for that 3 weeks prior, and then now they're your forever friend, you could have fucked around and, you know what I mean? Like, perish or whatever if they weren't technically there. They're putting your life for a reason. And it's like, that's why it's in my opinion, yeah, you can choose to be like, nah, fuck that. After let's just say it's a woman, or after me and her get down, I'm not going to talk to her ever again. And then you feel like, okay, you chose to make that not have no quote unquote meaning in your life. You chose to just quote unquote have an ulterior motive and then bounce. But how I'm trying to view life, Trent, I'm trying to actually connect with real motherfuckers and have deeper relationships, so that later on in life, if ever they're needed or I'm needed, shit, they can be called on, or I can be called on. No?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that smash and like leave mentality and like ghost people and all that, I think that shit needs to be left in the past. Like, frankly, it's not healthy for anybody. Like, it's one thing to like not like, it's one thing to not vibe with somebody else, but for just straight up just doing it and just like, okay, now peace, see you never again sort of thing. It's just like, I don't get it. Like, even in my whoring days, I didn't do shit like that. Like, I'd always like talk to them a bit after the fact, and then it would be just like, okay, we went our separate ways. This is how it goes. Like, but like, yeah, it's honestly just all about like vibing with somebody, really. Like, you can tell like when things are good basically together. Like, you hang out and it's just like, yeah, this was a fucking good day sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell when that shit's good, and that's all I look for these days. Like, if your vibes, it's such a fucking meme at this point, but if your vibes are off, fuck off. Like, get away from me. Like, seriously, no time for that.
That's facts, big facts, man. That's fucking dope that you think that way too. Because life, we all have to grow, right? At some point, in my opinion, we all have to grow. I mean, don't get me wrong. So, like, somebody, I'm pretty sure I said this on a prior episode, but somebody made that quote where they're like growing older is inevitable, like your age, but maturity, that's a choice. Like, you have to choose to want to learn to, all right, this is how we vibe it now. We not on no bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But it's different, because you never know how you're going to be treated or what's going to happen tomorrow. That's why today you got to be on that dope shit where you're fucking being the quote unquote best you. And it's not ever about not being able to have weak days or bad days, or you're always gonna have a good day. No, I'm just saying, if you have a choice to, I'm gonna snake this person and and fuck them over or screw them over versus, yo, I'm gonna let homie know that this is happening so that he doesn't further get messed up. It's a choice right there. But everyone kind of, unfortunately,
simple fucking choice too. Like, it's so much easier to do good than it is to do bad. Like, it really is. Like, it's easier to, like, I don't know how else to explain it other than that, man. Like, it's just so much easier to just not be a fucking piece of shit. Like, you don't have to fuck people over to survive. That's my basic philosophy in life. It's why it's the thing. Like, that's the easiest way to put it. Like, I try not to treat other people like shit because I don't want to be treated like shit, but I don't expect people to treat me good. Like, I just expect, like, I don't have any expectations to how other people treat me. That's just it. I just go with whatever it is and I just match their energy, basically.
And that's also a good way of looking at it. If you extend your hand first, give a little respect, because it's like, hey, if I'm giving a little respect, I'm not about expecting respect back, but you would, in context, yeah, it is about it. It's like, I'm gonna give you some, you give me some. Let's make sure it stays mutual always, opposed to you start off with some type of confrontation or disrespect, and then it's like, okay, now we're taking it somewhere where it didn't have to go or whatever. But it's based off the ego, right? Like, I'm gonna I'm always gonna come at people with respect, because one, if I'm new in the situation, Trent, I'm walking into the room and I have to greet everybody. You got to do what you got to do, man. It's never about being like, oh, yo, man, you know what? As soon as I walk in the room, I'm gonna confront everybody and test their manhood if it's men in the room. Or it's like, what? That's how you get extinguished out the room. That's how
we call that little dick energy where I come from.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, hey, and exactly, people view it how they view it, but to the fellas, please try not to be that dude. And to the ladies, please try not to be that woman, because ain't nobody here for all that.
Every person is valid, and every man is a man, every woman is a woman. Whatever they want, whatever they identify themselves as, they are. There is no the like the standards and all this shit of like what like a real man and all that. It's all bullshit. It's all just literal bullshit that we've placed on, like, it's just something that's been placed on, well, men specifically, but I guess it still extends to like the women and all that, that has been placed on us for no fucking reason except to just like head fuck us to like, oh, we got to be like this, we have to do this and go out of our way to do that, when in reality, no, if you were born a man and you want to be like, you identify as a man and all that thing, you're a man. There's no two ways about it, and nobody can take that away from you.
Facts,
it's all just gatekeeping, and it's fucking bullshit.
Like, don't get me wrong, because it is gatekeeping, but beyond that, Trent, like, in context, sometimes it's not even about being like strength and bravery and all that shit in the context of men, but more about like standing on your word. And even with those little social structures and shit like that, don't get me wrong, like, I understand that's still kind of part of the machismo type shit, but certain things are kind of, I feel like, are valid, but it kind of goes for people. Like, even if it's a woman that you're talking to, you want her to stand on her word too. It's not about being a man standing on your word, but it's like both whatever case.
I agree.
Or if it's a matter of taking care of your kids or whatever the case, if you're a quote unquote man. Different things in that context. I'm not talking about you not having the ability or whatever the case is, but because I believe, Trent, in my opinion, like, if you don't really have the capabilities, like, you should maybe try not to be out here just wilding, as far as like, you know what I mean? Like, doing adult things if you ain't fully ready for the repercussions in that regard. Accountability is basically what I'm preaching. It's basically what I'm saying. Accountability, right?
What I meant by standard is like the other, like what we talked about here is like all the good things, because like that's how we measure like content of the character and whatnot.
True.
That has a legitimate purpose. But the whole like, if you don't do this, if you don't look like this, if you don't, smoke 15 cigarettes and fucking drink 80 beers and whatnot, you're not a fucking man. If you don't do shots of whiskey and fucking, you're not a man, sort of thing. Like, stupid
that bullshit
like
that propaganda in that context. Because don't get me wrong, you do want, in context, like, don't get me wrong, Trent, it's not about saying every man has to be that, but if you are that type of man, that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that one is less than the other, but in context, if it ever came to, I think it's just, if it ever did come to a physical belt, that like if it's in the caveman days, unfortunately the quote unquote stronger guy does win, right? Like, so it's like, regardless of how we view, and the only reason why I take it back to the quote unquote like animalistic or like more primitive times, only because sometimes, unfortunately, that's how certain issues get settled, even in today's quote unquote civilized age, right? So it's like, that's the only shitty part about it, because it's like, despite, it just sucks that though some people are so far gone into that mentality, there are still other factors and other people who are like, there's big groups of people who have the opposite view, a view where it's like, nah, you're a man regardless. It doesn't matter if you're 6'8" or 5'3", you're a man, quote unquote. Granted, that's your whether it's biological identity, whatever the case is, right? So that's kind of where there's kind of always going to be two sides to the coin, is kind of what I'm saying. And it's like,
I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird, but you know,
it's the.
I'm not saying I'm trying to hate on any side. My bad. I'm not trying to hate on any side.
It's the gatekeeping of and pushing that like toxic aspect of like, especially when it comes to being a man. We're speaking for men because we're men. That's it. The women can speak for themselves. When it comes to this, there's a lot of that, and that is the issue with it, is gatekeeping like guys, and it's also pushing a lot of this toxic bullshit into us that we don't need, because it also extends to like, real men don't cry, real men don't show their emotions, you know, real men, you know, they just suck it up and they don't go, you know, they don't ask for help and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's that stuff that gets reinforced. Like, lifestyle choices, we can talk, like, whatever, like, that is what it is. But it's this stuff like that that gets reinforced on especially younger guys, like young boys coming up and stuff like that, and how they and to an extension how to treat women, sort of like how like they treat women sort of way. Like, it's not all great. Like, these like right. That aspect of this needs to be like absolutely minimized and just reduced. Like I said, it has nothing to do with lifestyle choices or anything like that. Yeah, it's all about, it's more just treating other people with respect and dignity, because they're human beings and they fucking deserve it.
No, 100%. No, 100%, man, 100%. That is, should be like the bare minimum. Like, if obviously, like, treating anybody with respect and dignity. And like, it's tricky too, because it sucks at the social aspect of life, like the social part of it, where people went above and beyond to, like, they went above and beyond to make it their job that, no, this has to be how it is. If you're a quote unquote man, this is how it is. That's why there's like, just nowadays in 2021, you hear of the first woman to do this and this, the first man to do this and that. Like, these things are so backwards in certain degrees of life, Trent. It's not even funny, bro. It's not even funny.
I agree. It's ridiculous. So what we do in response to this is we make our own standards, and we live at our own paces. We live by our own rules and our own standards, sort of thing, adhering within the guidelines of law and whatever have you. But like, we just basically say fuck everyone else's like standards. We live by our own standards. We live up to our own standards, basically. That's the only way we can do it, is just self-determination and self-autonomy of ourselves, like, over ourselves. Like, that's it. Self-autonomy and just basically living up to our own standards. The only way you can combat this shit. And by extension, when you do that, you spread that energy out to anybody else, and it inspires other people to do the same in their own lives, and that goes on and on and on and on and on and on. That's how we change things. We do, like, we starts with us and goes outwards, basically.
100%. But then it's like, will we have a realm of accountability in the sense of, like, not necessarily lawmakers, but in a sense, like, in today's society, for example, though there is the whole machismo, I'm an alpha male, you're a beta male, et cetera, et cetera. The fact that if I'm an alpha male and I'm quote unquote bullying / like, nowadays, as certain things have been implemented, I'm not saying it stops all crime in no way, shape, or form. I'm saying in the sense of how it kind of sometimes hinders certain situations. like I'm an alpha male, I'm bullying, like physically, like fighting or beating up a younger or smaller dude or whatever. Police sees me, assault, blah blah blah. I'm going to jail, blah blah blah. Once people form that new mentality, that new shift in a sovereign, like whatever it is, governing force, where it's like no, it's self autonomy. It's not about like when I say governing force, like I mean like that shift of like we destroy whatever and then we just build it where it's like it's just self autonomy. What regulates that? Like what do you think would keep people accountable to that? Because then that can be everybody just acting as individuals. Yes, granted, in a perfect world, if everyone's treating each other with respect and dignity, then it's like, fuck, we have no reason to have anything governing it or but as you know, obviously it's not a perfect world, right?
No, it's never going to be a perfect world, but the best we can do is just try to like live like that. That's the best answer I could put to it, is just because if like living like that will like put that energy out there, and hopefully with enough like time converts more than reason. That's basically the only way I can set it with that. Like this whole pandemic has really shifted a lot of people who like politically have not like been, they were kind of just like whatever, and now they've shifted to like a lot to work closer to where I am politically. So it's kind of, for me, it's a lot hopeful to see that, because they're starting to like say like, this can't be the only thing. Like there has to be something better to it, and that's the entire basis of anything like I preach when it comes to like anything political or anything like that. There has to be a better way. There has to be a better way to do this, and there is.
I feel you. And it's never about just saying like, yo, this works. Because that's not what I'm saying. That in any way, shape, or form, that what exactly
it could all fall apart. We just have to try it though, right? If we don't try it, we don't know.
And that right there is one of the answers, where it's like just within life, even within small things in your day to day, trying it. Okay, I just succeeded. Let me try something else or work, but towards a more or less productive or quote unquote positive lifestyle, opposed to a negative or detrimental or destructive one, right?
Yes. Sorry, I'm just responding to somebody right
good.
now.
It's all good, man. But on
working on other video ideas, right? Working on other videos with other
bro. That's all I'm saying, and it's all good, bro. We can more or less we can end it here and shit, and then you know what I mean. Because it's something to just leave the people who are listening to think about.
I just want to leave them with one more thing. Like we were talking about
self-autonomy. Drop what's got to drop. Yeah, man. Say what you got to say.
We're talking about self-autonomy. This goes above and beyond freedom. Freedom is like pedestrian stuff. When it comes to self-autonomy, that means we self-govern. We choose what we want to do. That is the thing we should be striving for. That is all I want to say. That's what I want to leave you with. It includes freedom. It's like freedom plus, basically, is self-autonomy. That's the only way I can put it.
That makes sense. Hey, and within anything that is being expressed by me, again, people, and Trent, my boy Trent, please do your own research. Do your own research.
I agree. Nothing else I can say. Just do your research and make sure and check your sources. Definitely check the sources.
Yeah, man, I got a helicopter flying over me. That's why I had to throw my mic on mute. It's still flying over me.
They heard us. They heard us. They're coming.
They're coming. No, but on some real, I do live by like 5 or 6 hospitals too, right? Yeah. But anyway, I said that's literally why because you'll hear it every now and then when you're out here on the balcony. But yeah, to the people listening, it's another episode of Ultra Fly Talk. My name's Graham.
I'm Trent.
And we out here. It's all love. Peace.
Fuck yes. Always.